Okay, so here we have a little charcoal on newsprint Bridgman translation drawing, page 174 in the Bridgman book. And it's an interesting little guy. And it's a mechanical depiction of the shoulder and its workings, with the arm raised, one lowered. Now, when the arm raises the scapula, you can see it, it's angled at about like this. As it goes up, if his arm was up at an angle like this, you would see the scapula fan out even more. And at some point, it would reach its impingement of the greatest angle. And I can't remember exactly what percentage angle that is, but it's quite dramatic. And again, through yoga and other things, you can, extend that range a little bit by just being extremely flexible, hyper flexible. And some people are. These are the rhomboids. So basically over here, we have the pieces of the trapezius. And here we've stripped away the trapezius and we're looking underneath it. We have the levator scapulae, which is a large neck muscle attaching onto to part of the top head of the scapula. We have the spine of the scapula, chromium process, clavicle, ball of the actual humerus. We have latissimus coming up. We have the bone here, and then we have the rhomboids are underneath the trapezius. Okay? These are all muscles that assist in the sliding and the raising and the fanning out of the scapula. Eric will get you really the technical mumbo jumbo of that if you take his anatomy intensives down the road. You can see here the way the deltoid is wrapping and how it makes that complicated twist into its attachment point on the humerus, and how the latissimus does the same thing. It kind of tucks and twists up under the delt and attaches onto the humerus on the opposite side. Now what happens is it's kind of spring-loaded. So when that arm raises up, that muscle releases itself, and then when it comes down, it tightens back in on itself. The pectoralis muscle does that. The latissimus does that. The deltoid doesn't so much do that, but it does attach in a similar manner. So these are some complicated ways that the muscles actually twist and turn as they are spring-loaded, basically. Up here, we have the trapezius attaching onto the occipital area of the brain case or the cranium. We have the occipital protuberance, which is a small bump that you can palpitate and feel if you reach back behind your head. You'll feel that. Your trapezius attaches on either side of that. Now, behind your ear is a little process on the skull called the mastoid process. And that is where the sternocleidomastoideus muscle attaches to. And we're seeing that coming up right here. This comes in front of it. This is it here. It comes in front of that, right? Then there's deep muscles in here. The neck is full of incredibly complicated little spindly, crazy muscles. If you ever have to sculpt it, you'll know what I'm talking about. But it's good to know, and there will be some aspects of it that you will have to deal with depending on the person you're drawing. So I do want you to learn it. It's an extremely complicated area, and you will need to return to it time and time again from different sources, from different books, in order to really get a thorough understanding of it. But we're working here with Bridgman mostly a lot of times on the surface morphology, the surface masses, which is hard enough to get. But those are the ones we really deal with all the time. And as you get deeper and deeper in, I would suggest and I would encourage you to go deeper and deeper at your own leisure as you feel need be. Now this is, some of you are going to say, I just need enough anatomy to make my figures not look janky because I'm really going to be a car designer. I'm going to be a tech designer like my dad. He's more of an industrial designer. He's more tech-driven, landscape-driven. And when he puts people in, he doesn't want them to look embarrassingly bad, but he's not going to try to be, a virtuoso anatomist. So you'll have to determine where you want to deviate and where you want to break your anatomy training and say, that is enough for me. That is enough for me. And I'll let you figure that out. I'm still working on it, and I'll be working on it till probably I croak.